Welcome back to our candidate interview series. Today we have Tammy Moore, who's running for School Board District 4. How are you today?
I'm good.
All right, you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay. What are your top goals if you're elected?
My top goals, if elected, the first thing would be prioritizing the needs of our students, having policies that are district-wide that ensure that all of our students will thrive. I think secondly would be being accessible to the students, parents, and staff, being there so that they have concerns that they can come to me about. I also want to be present in the community, representing the board, anywhere from kindergarten graduation and, of course, the high school graduations. I think it's important that we're there and that the public sees us there.
Okay. What are the biggest issues you think the school board needs to address?
I think the biggest issue that needs to be addressed at this time is communication. I think that in this day and age of communication, with so many things, you've got Facebook, you've got email, you've got apps, there's so many ways to communicate. I think we need to step it up a bit. Our schools have Facebook pages and they do a really good job, but I'd like to see a little bit more out of the district. I think the website needs to be updated. I think getting information out for school board meetings, the agendas, and maybe even like the county commission, having those recorded meetings up so that people can hear them.
What are some changes that you would like to see made if you're elected?
I think the biggest thing that I would like to change is parent participation. I think that parents want to be involved, and I think there's a way of doing that would keep our students safe. There should be policies and procedures in place, background checks, but I think that, I hear that a lot. Parents want to be involved and they want to help. I think that the other thing is again, like I said, I think the minutes and things like that, they're on the website, but it's a little hard to find. I'd like to see that pushed out on Facebook. That seems to be the biggest way that people get their information.
Okay. What are the biggest challenges you think the county or the schools face right now?
I think the biggest challenge is growth. We have 2,907 students in the school district right now. I know that it's going to grow. We already heard that there's some other subdivisions come in. I think that the school has started, or the district has started working on that, with a new school being discussed. But I think that that's always going to be a problem. They're addressing at the elementary school level, but eventually there's going to need to be additions to the high school or possibly even a new high school. And that kind of goes back to the communication. Even with that new elementary school, a lot of people are unaware that there's even one in the planning and the location. And I think those are things that people need to know about. But along with, something like a new school, we've got to know how we're going to maintain it. We might have a grant money that's going to build the school, but we've got to be able to maintain it. One of the things I hear at every meeting is maintenance issues. I'm concerned with us struggling with the buildings that we have now, how we're going to be able to manage a new facility.
What are some things you think that the school board is doing well right now?
Oh my goodness. I think we have a really good school board. Kind of started going to the meetings after I decided to run. And our school board members are very vocal. They advocate for our students. I think there's always kind of a big misunderstanding because there's a lot of things that they can't do. School board is there for policy. They create policy and, approve the budget. They can't overturn disciplinary issues and things like that. That is not in their realm of possibilities. They are not there to run the schools, their day-to-day operations. And I think our school board does a really good job. At the meetings that I've been to, they don't hesitate to speak up. I feel like they really are concerned about our students, and they don't just think of them as, a test score. They think of them as a whole, as a student. And one of the issues that was brought to them, was about the testing and how it affects students. And they were very quick to speak up and say, no, I don't feel like one test should dictate what happens to a student for a year long. I think we need to look at some other things. They actually use the term the if factor. Let's have an if statement. I really hate that Michelle has stepped down, and we've got to wait to find out who the governor will select. But I think we have a really good school board that does a lot, and they really do try to keep the needs of the students first.
What makes you the best candidate for the position?
Oh my goodness. I think we have 3 good candidates in our race. I think we're all very strong. I think you're not going to go wrong with any of us. I think what makes me different is I do have the background being involved with government for over 23 years. I have knowledge of budgets and how government works, and the fact that we don't get to go in and dictate, what projects are going on as far as day to day, and, what people are doing within the schools, But I feel like I have that background. I'm also, those of you who know me know that I'm a little bit of a fighter. I will fight for what I believe in. I don't care if it's politically correct. I love kids. I myself didn't have the best childhood, and the one thing for me is I am looking out for those kids. And I'm a mother. I have 2 daughters that graduated from the schools previously, and now I have a daughter that's going to be in kindergarten next year. So it's not just looking at things from, a distance. I'm up there front row seeing how these things happen in our schools, and I think that makes me a little bit different.
What experience do you bring that'll help you if you're elected?
Working for the county. I've been there for 23 years. The HR director. Started off as kind of a personnel clerk and working in the building department, becoming the office manager. I think I have a good working knowledge of how, governmental operations work. And of course, I'm a mother, grandmother, so I think that is a good experience.
What can the citizens of Gilchrist County expect from Tammy Moore, school board member?
I think that I will always be honest. I'll always be available. And I'll always be willing to stand up for what is right.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about already that you feel like everyone needs to know?
I don't think so. I just think that there's a lot of negativity out there. And I think there's a lot of people that are very quick to pass judgment on things and people they know nothing about. And I just think that anybody that has questions or concerns about any of the candidates should reach out to them firsthand. And, I hear lots of comments, a lot of things being said, and I think it's kind of sad. I hate to see this happen in our county. But I think at the end of the day, we need to vote who we think will do the best in every one of these races.
That's Tammy Moore for School Board District 4.